I had a public Google Drive. Just give me 2 minutes. I will open the URL and share it here.
Please share on Zoom chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so this drive has slides for all the main content. In fact, this is meant only for the slides, but I will upload the notes also in this.
Ma'am, it is saying that I need access permission from you.
No, the drive should be open for all. I mean, this particular folder should be open for all. Just a minute. Whoever is unmuted, can you please mute? Shruti, can you please mute? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I confirmed it's anyone with the link should be able to open the folder. Can you please try once again?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. If there are any other doubts in any of the subjects, please do post your questions in the chat box. Looks like some of you are in probably traffic or something, so there's a background noise. So if you have questions, please do post. Otherwise,
what about that student exercise book that you were telling?
No, that is not in this drive. I will upload it. So the textbook, the textbook that we follow for a majority of part of the course, Paul Amman and Jeff Ofoot, that they have a student exercise manual, which has a lot of practice problems that you can use to solve it. So I had uploaded that and posted it, but it's not there currently in this drive. I will do that later today. That's a PDF file. It has some solved problems that will give you practice for logic, graph coverage criteria, mutation testing, and some exercises that are unsolved that you can help to practice for the final exam. So I will upload those in the Google Drive folder. Please use it judiciously. And in terms of notes, I don't have too many notes. I tried to write, it became difficult, but I realized that the first edition of the book, which we follow predominantly in the course, has a freely downloadable PDF available. That's what I had uploaded in the Ask Me Anything forum inside the NPTEL course. But if that is not didn't reach all of you, then I will put that also in the same drive. So that will act as notes for those of you who want it.
Ma'am, what are the total materials? These slides are there in Google Drive, and what else? One is student notebook and
student exercise manual, and the PDF of the first edition of the book.
Okay. So, ma'am, please upload all these in this drive, or either give their link separately.
No, because I will just upload it all in this drive.
Okay.
I will do that. Yeah, Shruti, you should be able to unmute and talk. You can also send me an email. Several learners have been sending me an email. So my email address I'll post. If you have specific doubts, you could send.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, Karthik. Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
मैम जैसे कि सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग पहले 30 को होने वाला था, राइट? बट अभी वो हम जैसे सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग एग्जाम पहले 30 को होने वाला था, बट अब 30, 31 और 1 को भी है.
Yeah, because I think some cities they don't have space in the centers.
Yes, ma'am. तो मैम पेपर्स मतलब जैसे होगा कि अब किसी का टफ किसी का इजी, तो ये कैसे हम कह सकते हैं कि वो सेम होगा?
नहीं, पेपर्स सेम नहीं होंगे. 3 सेट्स का अलग अलग पेपर्स है. ऑल 3 आर सेपरेट पेपर्स. They will have some parts that overlap, but not the same question paper.
Okay, ma'am.
But similar in structure. It will have the same 50 questions, 2 marks each. Structure is the same, but there are 3 different question papers with maybe a small overlap.
मैम एक आपने वीक में कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ाया था टूरिंग वाला.
Yeah, 1 minute. Sorry, somebody is unmute. Somebody needs to mute. Yes, Satish Kumar, can you please mute while you're not talking? If needed, you could unmute later. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
मैम वीक 2 में एक टॉपिक था टूरिंग विद साइड ट्रिप्स, टूरिंग विद डिटॉर्स और टूरिंग. तो उसका आप क्या एक न्यूमेरिकल करा सकते हैं?
You want me to do it now?
If it possible.
Okay, I can try.
Ma'am, please tell what are some important topics for exam.
Yeah, that I told in the earlier session also. I will repeat it once again for everybody's benefit. So question paper will have 50 questions. All the 3 sets of question paper will have same way. There are 3 sets of exams happening. So 50 questions, 2 marks each. And a lot of them will look similar to what you did for weekly assignment. Please expect 1 question on graph coverage criteria, structural or data flow, 1 description followed by 10 sub questions, 1 like that on logic coverage criteria, 1 description with the truth table followed by 10 sub questions, and 1 on mutation testing, symbolic execution. These are all the important topics. So if you prepare them well, then it will be useful. In the beginning, I had shared a drive containing the slides. Some of you came late, so I will post it once again.
मैम बेसिकली एक मेन क्वेश्चन होगा और उसके सब क्वेश्चंस होंगे.
हाँ, that will be the important structure. Like something like at least 60 marks will be like that. Alag chote questions will be separate. Like for example, I can ask you pick the right option that defines regression testing. वो छोटा question होगा. Which of these the best describes usability testing? वो एक अलग छोटा question. But otherwise, the majority of the paper is group questions. 1 group question for graph-based coverage with 1 description, 10 sub questions, 1 group question for logic-based coverage, description, 10 sub questions. The majority of papers, at least 60 marks, ऐसा होगा. Is that okay?
Ma'am, what are the topics for that 10 marks group questions?
Graph-based testing, logic-based testing, mutation testing, symbolic execution.
Ma'am, graph-based testing means what in graph-based testing?
Then I'll tell you the whole question paper. The thing, no? Control flow graph, structural coverage criteria, data flow coverage criteria. In दोनों में से one of them will come. Or a combination of both. A lot like what you did for your weekly assignment.
And ma'am, what for symbolic execution?
Symbolic execution also is like that. I'll give you a piece of code, small piece of code. You'll have to learn how symbolic execution, how to construct path constraints that reach various paths, what will be test cases that reach various paths, simple questions on symbolic execution. Similarly, logic coverage criteria, standard template is there, truth table. I'll give you the truth table, number the rows in the truth table, then ask you questions on active clause coverage criteria, the various types from the truth table, based on the truth table. So if you study these 3 parts, then almost 50% of the paper you can answer well.
Ma'am, that GACC, RACT, that all things. I mean that sometimes a question is asked: are all RACC pairs and GACC pairs are same? So
right.
Ma'am, that question is that question is kind of very difficult because we need to find all GACC, RACC. One kind of question was there in assignment that are
correct. Yeah. So for that you will be given a rough paper, rough sheet, booklet. You basically take the truth table, work out the whole thing. conditions under whichever clauses are there when they determine the predicate, CACC, GACC, RACC. Then you keep that on your side. After that, try to attempt the MCQ. Same thing for graph coverage criteria. In the notebook, in the paper sheet that you will be given, draw the control flow graph first, number the nodes, and then try to answer the questions. That's the best way to do it. There is a lot of time available. It's only 50 questions, 3 hours time is there. So you, if without writing it down, you will find it difficult to answer.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Inactive clause coverage will be there.
Both kinds will be there. Less questions on inactive clause coverage because it's not very important. More questions on active clause coverage. Yeah, somebody else had a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I had a question. Actually, I had 2 questions. Means, firstly, could you repeat what 3 topics you told are important? Means I missed it.
Graph-based testing. Graph-based testing. You will be given one common description, lot like what you do in your assignment, and then questions around graph coverage criteria based on that description.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
That is one. Then logic-based testing, where I'll give you the predicate, give you the truth table, no numbers in the truth table. You have to identify. Main set of questions will be on the clause coverage, active clause coverage criteria on that. Then one major question on symbolic execution. So, and then a lot of other minor questions.
Thank you, ma'am. That brings me to my next question regarding symbolic execution.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I faced some difficulty in the path constraint concept. Like if we are given a pseudo code, a template, so how we will construct the path constraint for any group of ifs in that snippet, code snippet? Because from your slide or from your lecture, theoretically it is clear, but I'm means it's facing some difficulty to apply it on logical problems. Like the one which came in week 6 practice assignment, there were 2 conditions in the if. So it was asking which path constraint will make the error, means it will make you reach the error, but that I faced some difficulty, means how to apply that concept on code.
Yeah. Basically, I'll explain it to you, try to explain it to you orally in the interest of time. So what you do is you first check the predicate labeling, the if statement or while statement that is given to you. If the predicate has variables that are not inputs, then you remember to rewrite them in terms of inputs. Okay, once you have rewritten the predicates in terms of inputs, substitute it back, and for every if statement, the predicate will have two path constraints. One, the predicate as it is, one with the predicate negated. So let's say there is one if statement inside another if statement, and the second if statement is in the then part of the predicate. So then what you do is you take the predicate of the first if statement and add the predicate of the second if statement, positive and negative, negated and not negated. So this is how you build the predicates. Then these are simple predicates. You just manually solve them on your notebook. Then you will be able to write test cases that give rise to different paths. And those are the predicates that influence the various paths. I hope this small explanation will help.
Someone asked you that could you do the numerical of that side tools. Along with that, could you also explain it with some numerical?
Yeah, 1 minute. Let me just, that's why I'm opening some slides if I have them. Just give me a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. And thanks to answer my question, ma'am.
Ma'am, graph coverage criteria means that tour with side trip, that thing.
It could also have data flow paths. Okay.
हाँ, मैं एक और चीज मुझे याद आई कि टेस्ट पाथ में आपने एक जगह बोला था कि टेस्ट पाथ में हमारा इनिशियल जैसे जो हमें दिया होता है और फाइनल होता है वहां से वहां तक लेते हैं हम.
हाँ.
तो बट मैम स्लाइड्स में कुछ जगह ऐसा था कि जैसे एक वो एग्जांपल था ABCDE, मतलब ABC इधर था और DEF इधर था. तो वो A से A, मतलब जिसमें हमें 2 लेना था एज पेयर कवरेज वाला, तो उसमें हमने ABC और मतलब बेसिकली जरूरी नहीं कि हमने स्टार्ट नोड ली ही थी. फाइनल नोड हमारी आ रही थी बट स्टार्ट नोड हमने नहीं ली थी. तो फिर टेस्ट पाथ में वो कंसीडर होता है?
या टेस्ट पाथ यू नीड बोथ स्टार्ट एंड फाइनल नोड. करेक्ट. वो ऐसा तो फाइनल नोड के बिना अगर मार्क नहीं किया तो जो भी सिंक नोड है दैट विल बिकम द फाइनल नोड. I'll just share my screen so that I can open the slides that explain.
मैम इन वन ऑफ द असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चन ऐसा पूछा था कि इसका पर्पस क्या है, जैसे ए ग्रेटर देन बी था और अंदर जाके फिर स्वैपिंग करी थी उन्होंने वेरिएबल्स की, तो उन्होंने पूछा था इसमें क्या करा है, तो उसका आंसर था स्वैपिंग करा है, लेकिन पहले चेक भी करा था ए ग्रेटर देन पी और दोनों ऑप्शन थे कि चेक ए ग्रेटर देन पी एंड स्वैप ए एंड बी, एंड आंसर था स्वैप ए एंड बी.
I don't remember this. Did you raise it as a bug? There was also one more silly mistake in 1 week assignment. 2 students wrote to me, we'll get that corrected in the back end. About class inheritance in Java, I think we made that mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is not allowed.
Yeah. That I'll correct it. That was a mistake from my side. Can you all see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is the part related to Karthik's question. So let me just answer it. So we all know what prime paths is, right? So if you take a graph like this, so a prime path cannot have 1, 2, 3, 6, and then go back to 3. The node or the vertex cannot repeat once again in the middle of the path. So suppose I want to visit this loop, and I will not directly be able to use it as a prime path, because if I do 3, 6, 3, then it will not become a prime path, but it can be called as a test path. So sometimes it's useful to have test paths with side trips and detours. So here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the simplest path, prime path, and it skips this loop 3, 6. So if suppose I take this loop, there are 2 ways of getting out of this loop. Suppose a test path takes this loop, there are 2 ways to get out of this loop. One is to say 1, 2, 3, enter the loop, do 3, 6, 3, 6, how many ever times you want. Then you can do 4 and 5. That's one way of getting out of the loop. The other way is 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 6. And from 6, instead of going back to 3, I can go to 4 and to 5. And for some reason, I might want to cover exiting the loop from both the nodes, from node 3 and from node 6. It's not possible to do it directly with prime paths, but if I take side trips and detours, I can do it. So that's what this one explains. Simple way is, remember side trip. When I say side trip, every edge must occur in the same order. Edges must occur in the same order. When I say detour, nodes must occur in the same order. Just remember this. So here, for example, for the same path that we had earlier, the path that was blue colored, I can tour that prime path without side trip, directly like that, with the blue color. Suppose I use a side trip, then I'll end up taking this loop, 3, 6. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 4, 5. So this is the same prime path, because I do 3, 6, 3 and it repeats, and the definition of prime path doesn't allow internal vertices to repeat. I say I take this side trip. I just call it as a side trip. It's just another notation to make me take the vertex 3 once more. Similarly here, I want to cover this edge, 6, 4. Here, it so happens that I do a detour, because vertices come in the same order. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, and then 5. This is a detour. So we also had one assignment that had this. Let me open the assignment.
मैम प्राइम पाथ में ऐसा होता है कि हम जिस वर्टेक्स से बाहर गए थे उसी वर्टेक्स पे, जैसे 3 से बाहर गए थे तो 3 पे ही वापस आएंगे.
3 पे अगर बीच में वापस आ गए तो मुश्किल होगा, क्योंकि वो प्राइम पाथ नहीं होगा. तो इसलिए साइड ट्रिप या डिटोर करेंगे तो वापस आ सकते हैं 3 पे.
तो मैम वापस आना है तो साइड ट्रिप और डिटूर में फर्क क्या है? मतलब वापस अगर 3 पे ही आए तो उसको साइड ट्रिप बोलेंगे, और कभी आगे बाद में वापस आए तो डिटूर बोलेंगे?
नहीं, वो साइड ट्रिप में एजेस की ऑर्डर एक जैसा होता है. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू सी हियर a tour with a side trip, you say every edge in that side trip will also be in the same order as the original one. Detour में nodes की order एक जैसी होती है. Every node in Q is also in the same order as that in P. So that's captured here.
कर दीजिए प्लीज, ये समझ नहीं आया, मतलब क्या एज का ऑर्डर.
So for example, ये इधर देखिए, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the main prime path. How many edges are there? 4 edges are there. Those extra blue colored one. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 and 4, 5.
हाँ.
So ये देखिए साइड ट्रिप में 1, 2, 2, 3. Then I do 3, 6, 6, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. the order in which the edges come
in prime
the
path,
top path and in the second one is the same.
मतलब प्राइम पाथ में जो एजेस रहेंगी उसी ऑर्डर में वो सारी एजेस होनी चाहिए,
वैसी ही ऑर्डर में आनी चाहिए
एंड सारी होनी चाहिए.
हाँ, जो ओरिजिनल पाथ में थी वो सारी होनी चाहिए.
प्राइम पाथ में जो है वो सारी एजेस होनी चाहिए उसी ऑर्डर में. एंड एडिशनल होगी बीच में कुछ, वो एडिशनल हो सकती है.
वो एडिशनल एजेस को ही साइड ट्रिप बोलते हैं हम.
अच्छा,
ये दोनों एडिशनल एजेस है 3663, ये साइड ट्रिप हो जाती है. और बाकी सब एजेस वैसी ही ऑर्डर में आना है.
हाँ.
एंड देन डिटूर में एजेस एक दो छोड़ सकते हैं. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल हियर 3-4 एजेस छूट गई, इट इज नॉट देयर हियर. लेकिन वर्टिसेस की ऑर्डर एक जैसी होनी चाहिए फ्रॉम द ओरिजिनल प्राइम पाथ. 1 2 3 4 5 in order in the original prime path. In the detour also 1 2 3 6 4 5 vertices are ordered similarly.
मतलब साइड ट्रिप होगी तो डिटूर हो ही जाएगा. मतलब साइड ट्रिप ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट है, तो अगर साइड ट्रिप हुई तो डिटूर हो ही गया.
Correct, that's correct. Yeah, somebody else had a question or an observation?
Let's say 6 से जो 4 पे हमें एरो दिया होता है वो 6 से 5 पे होता, देन हम डिटूर नहीं कर पाते ना.
6 से 5 होता तो डिटूर नहीं कर पाते. करेक्ट, दैट्स राइट.
मैम प्राइम पाथ में ऐसा हम बोल सकते हैं कि जिस वर्टेक्स से वो निकला है एडिशनल पाथ, वो वापस उसी वर्टेक्स पे जाएगा फिर आगे कंटिन्यू करेगा.
नहीं, अगर वापस उसी वर्टेक्स पे जाएगा प्राइम पाथ में आगे कंटिन्यू नहीं कर सकता. बीच में वर्टिसेस रिपीट नहीं हो सकते
प्राइम पाथ में नहीं, साइड ट्रिप में.
नहीं, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया अभी तक.
साइड ट्रिप में जिस वर्टेक्स से वो एडिशनल साइड ट्रिप निकली है वो उसी वर्टेक्स पे एंड होगी, ये हम गारंटी से कह सकते हैं साइड ट्रिप में.
हाँ हाँ.
एंड डिटूर में वो कहीं और आगे जाके भी एंड हो सकती है.
हाँ, एजेस स्किप हो सकते हैं डिटूर में.
और उस इसमें प्राइम पाथ में जिस वर्टेक्स से शुरू हुआ उसी पे एंड करना पड़ेगा.
किसका? हाँ,
साइड ट्रिप में जिस वर्टेक्स से स्टार्ट हुआ उस पे वापस जाना पड़ेगा एंड करके, फिर आगे काम कंटिन्यू करेंगे. एंड उसमें हम स्किप कर सकते हैं वर्टेक्स डिटूर में.
हाँ, एक प्राइम पाथ फिक्स कर लेना आप. दैट्स 1 2 3 4 5 लाइक इन दिस स्लाइड. वो प्राइम पाथ के साथ डिटूर कर सकते हैं, साइड ट्रिप भी कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, मतलब अगर साइड ट्रिप चल रही थी 3 से निकला तो एक बार 3 पे वापस जाएगा फिर आगे कंटिन्यू करेगा.
हाँ हाँ,
है ना. और मैम डिटूर में हमेशा एक वर्टेक्स आगे ही जाता है क्या? वो जैसे 3 से गया
नहीं, एक से ज्यादा भी जा सकता है.
तो मैम फिर प्राइम पाथ मिस नहीं हो जाएगा? अगर जैसे 5 पे जाता तो प्राइम पाथ में 4 तो रहेगा ही, तो वो मिस नहीं.
हाँ, नहीं, वो प्राइम पाथ मिस नहीं होना चाहिए. लेकिन ये एग्जाम्पल में एक ही वर्टेक्स है, लेकिन कुछ और ग्राफ में दो या उससे भी ज्यादा छूट सकती है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. लेकिन प्राइम पाथ को होना चाहिए, वो वर्टिसेस की ऑर्डर एक जैसी होनी चाहिए.
लेकिन साइड ट्रिप में नहीं छूटेगा कोई भी वर्टेक्स, मतलब जिससे निकला उस पे जाएगा वापस.
हाँ,
ठीक है मैम. प्राइम पाथ टेस्ट पाथ होता है, मतलब शुरू से आखिरी तक कंपलसरी होता है ना जाना.
ये द फर्स्ट प्राइम पाथ इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ टेस्ट पाथ आल्सो. 1 2 3 4 5.
एवरी प्राइम पाथ इज अ टेस्ट पाथ.
नहीं, वैसा नहीं हो सकता. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल फॉर दिस ग्राफ 363 विल बी अ प्राइम पाथ, लेकिन वो टेस्ट पाथ नहीं है वो.
लेकिन साइड ट्रिप एंड डिटूर विल ऑलवेज बी अ टेस्ट पाथ.
Side trip and detours are only for test paths. Yeah, that will achieve prime path coverage.
But they are test paths.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
हमें एक बार एज पेयर कवरेज वाली पीपीटी दिखा दीजिए.
हाँ. Yeah. So edge pair coverage, edge मतलब सिर्फ एक ही edge.
हमें ये वाले में मेरा डाउट ये था कि जो टेस्ट पाथ है, आपने नीचे एक पॉइंट लिखा है टीआर, तो मेरे को समझ में आ गया. पर आपने लिखा टेस्ट पाथ आर द सेम एज, मतलब जो ऊपर लिखेंगे यही होंगे. पर
ये वाले टेस्ट पाथ
से फाइनल होगा.
Yeah, I mean for this example, test paths are the same as the test requirements. Yeah, sorry.
यस मैम. मेरा डाउट यही था कि टेस्ट पाथ आपने अभी बताया था कि इनिशियल यहाँ पे 1 दे रखा है हमें एरो, और फाइनल हमारा 5 और 6 है. तो मैम फिर 2 4 5 कैसे हम टेस्ट पाथ में ले सकते हैं?
Yeah.
That's my question I am asking before.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I think that's a mistake. So ये 2 4 5 3 4 5 this graph should become invisible. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for observing that. Yeah. So I'll make a note of it. I'll correct it in the slides. Yeah, whoever is not talking, please unmute. Yeah, that's a mistake. Thanks for observing.
ये चीज है, ये एक दो जगह और भी था जहाँ पे सेम यही मिस्टेक था कि इनिशियल नहीं है वो, बट हमें कंसीडर कर रखा था, तो वो कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है, तो इसलिए बस clear
Yeah, sorry about that. आप ऐसा कीजिए, you just send me a mail. I will correct it and put back the slides in the common drive. In case you joined late, I had given my mail ID. 1 minute, I'll just stop sharing so that I can. I hope it's there in the chat window and everybody can see. Yeah, sorry. I was answering in Hindi because somebody else asked in Hindi. I will answer in English also. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so
मैम जीएससीसी में ऐसा बोलते हैं कि जैसे अगर जो मेजर क्लॉज है वो अगर चेंज होगा तो इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि फाइनल प्रेडिकेट भी चेंज हो.
can you next question?
बहुत नॉइस आ रहा है.
Yeah, whoever is not talking, please mute.
मैम जीएससीसी में ऐसा कहते हैं कि अगर हमने मेजर क्लॉज को चेंज कर दिया तो फाइनल प्रेडिकेट चेंज हो, ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है.
नहीं.
लेकिन मैम
प्रेडिकेट तो एक ही होता है. There's only one predicate.
प्रेडिकेट की वैल्यू चेंज हो ऐसा नेसेसरी नहीं है, ऐसा बोलते हैं.
नहीं है. No, GSCC does not subsume predicate coverage.
मैम लेकिन फिर कहीं लिखा है कि वो प्रेडिकेट कवरेज करता है, मतलब प्रेडिकेट पे उसका इफेक्ट होता है. जो पहली लाइन रहती है स्लाइड में उसमें ऐसा लिखा रहता है कहीं.
नहीं. Only one slide in logic coverage criteria will have that mistake. The last slide on subsumption. वो जो मैंने ड्राइव में whatever I have uploaded in the drive, those slides have corrected information. Please refer to the slides that I have uploaded in the drive. I will recheck once again. The link is there here on the chat.
Ma'am, so GSCC does not have predicate coverage and remaining two CSCC and RSCC have predicate coverage.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry, I hope I started speaking in English also. So yeah, I've shared most of the slides. I've put the link to the drive and you can check. There will be no questions from model checking. Numericals will come from weeks 5 to 7. Yes, the coverage criteria, week 5 numerical questions will be there. I mean, it's all MCQ, by the way. It's all MCQ.
Ma'am, so there won't be subjective questions.
Single correct.
No. MCQ, no MCQ, no multiple correct answer, no numericals. MCQ, 50 questions. Yeah.
All single correct.
Whoever is not talking, please mute. Yeah, please mute. Whoever is not talking, please mute.
There is a question in a slide जो अभी आपने शेयर करी थी, सेम उसी में एक क्वेश्चन है जिसमें आपने नोड कवरेज, एज पेयर कवरेज तीनों कराया था. एक बार वाला एग्जांपल दिखा दीजिए, उसमें भी एक डाउट है.
Yeah, 1 minute. I'll just share that slide. One second. I'll share that. Before that, let me just answer the other questions in the chat. I think there were questions on important topics and drive link. How to study assignments. They are very indicative of what will come in the exam. Yeah. So Karthik, thanks for sharing. So this is a drive. Exam pattern, I will repeat it for those who joined late. Requesting everyone to please mute, especially Arvind. You have to mute. There's background noise. And 208 X1 A4 202, you also have to mute.
Ma'am, you can mute them.
Okay. There's a lot of noise. 1 second. Let me just unmute it.
Ma'am, as the theory portion is very large, ma'am, how should we prepare for theory questions?
No, there will be only that small questions will be memory recap. Otherwise, everything is problem solving. Just for the sake of everybody's benefit, for those who joined late, let me repeat the question paper pattern. Yeah, requesting you all to mute, please, because if I mute, I am wasting time. Just mute and ask your, type your questions in the chat box. Yeah. Yeah, so for the benefit of those who joined late, let me repeat the question paper pattern. Across 3 exams, there are 3 sets of exams for this course. There will be 3 different question papers with small part overlapping. So it will not be the same question paper. All the 3 question paper have a uniform pattern. There'll be questions will be similar to what you saw in weekly assignments. There will be 50 questions, MCQ, no numericals, no multiple selection, 2 marks each. So the question paper is for 100 marks. The way it will be divided is 75% will come from the final exam, 25% is best stage out of 12 assignments. That's how the grades will be given. In these 50 questions, there'll be 10 questions on there'll be 10 questions on graph-based coverage. There'll be 1 description given with subparts, and the questions will involve structural coverage criteria, data flow coverage criteria, combination of that on graph-based coverage. There'll be 1 description with 10 sub-questions on logic-based coverage. Truth table will be given, logical predicate will be given. In your notebook, write down the whole thing, determine the conditions for all the clauses under which the clause determines the predicate, write down GACC, CACC, RACC conditions, then attempt answering the questions. Remember, you have 3 hours, so there is no need to worry. There is plenty of time. You can write down in your notebook, then answer question. I understand that there are questions like for clause B, the CACC pairs are the same as RACC pairs. For this, you have to work out individually for each of the clauses, GACC, CACC, and RACC. This is a 12 weeks course, semester-long course, so it will not be short like 4 weeks or 8 weeks. So this is 1 question, logic-based coverage. There'll be 1 question on symbolic execution. Again, it will be very simple. You'll be given if statements. You'll be asked to write the path predicates and write test cases for the path constraints that satisfy and which lead to the error, which lead to the skipping the second if statement. Simple questions like this. The rest of there might be 1 question on mutation testing. That's another important topic. Again, 1 small part of the code will be given. You'll be asked to write answers related to mutation testing. The slides are all kept in the Google Drive. There is also a student exercise manual, which I'll put in the same drive. And version 1 of the textbook that we follow for a majority of the course is freely downloadable from online. So please check for the name of the book is given everywhere at the end of most of the slides. Check for it, pick up the PDF that will act as good notes for you. This is another important point to remember. In terms of the smaller questions, like for example, if you take something from week 1 or let's say week 12, what did we do in week 12? We did non-functional testing in week 12. So there might be a question that gives you a small description and asks you to identify what kind of testing is it. Is it stress testing? Is it load testing? Things like that. There might be 1 question giving you a small description related to, let's say, regression testing, ask you to identify something on regression testing. Those kinds of questions will be smaller in number. They will involve direct memory recap, mainly from week 1 and week 12, the theoretical parts for which we didn't do much of algorithmic content. That will be the smaller part. And that will look, again, very similar to your weekly assignments. You don't have to memorize too much, but your understanding will be very critical. But don't try to memorize a lot.
MCQ pattern, na?
MCQ pattern, no MSQ, only 1 correct answer, no numerical.
Sample paper provide कर सकती हो?
Sample paper, I can provide sample more weekly assignments. Sample papers are difficult to give. वो हमको permission नहीं है.
If you can provide for final revision.
हाँ, वही मैं बोल रही हूँ. I will upload student exercise manual of the textbook in the same drive. You pick up graph-based questions, logic-based questions, mutation testing questions from that book. It will be good revision for you for the exam. And I will upload some more weekly assignment sample question papers in the same drive. Final exam question paper, the previous year's question papers, we are not allowed to upload. So I'm sorry, but I will not be able to upload, but it will be very similar to what you do in the weekly assignments. That's one of the mandates of an NPTEL course. We won't violate that mandate.
म्यूटेशन टेस्टिंग में व्हाट कैन, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी मतलब थ्योरेटिकल उसमें ज्यादा है, तो उसमें क्या टाइप का क्वेश्चन बनता है म्यूटेशन टेस्टिंग?
हाँ, so I will give you a program with one mutant and I will ask you how to write reachability conditions for the mutant, how to do propagation for the mutant, which would be a test case that will kill the mutant. Questions will be around that. The program code snippet with its mutant will be given, and then you have to answer questions related to that. So Chetan, there is no negative marking. If you get it, it's full, otherwise 0 marks. So there is no negative marking. Pass mark in the exam that you refer to the NPTEL course page, I think it is 40. 40 will be split as 75% out of the final exam and the remaining 25% out of the best 8 weekly assignments. So if you, let's say, do 8 of the 12, if you've done all 12, or if you've done 8 of the 12 where you've got full marks in your weekly assignments for 12 weeks, there itself you've already got 25 marks out of the pass mark of 40. Final exam, if you do minimally well also, you can easily pass. But strive for more. Why only pass? You should be able to get if you get an internship, a summer internship in IIIT Bangalore. Yeah, sample assignments I'll upload. Slides are there. Yeah, all the 12 weeks PPTs are not there, Bhavani. I'll try to upload. For now, only some important PPTs are there. I'll try to upload the 12 weeks PPTs. What other questions are there?
Inactive clause coverage नहीं रहेगा ना question में?
That I cannot assure you. मुझे याद नहीं. I don't remember. But if with inactive clause coverage is there, maybe maximum 1 in the group of 8 questions. There is no negative marking. So you don't have to worry. There is no negative marking. Very important topics I just told, Aryan. So many times I told.
Ma'am, 10 के 3 group questions रहेंगे. Means 30 questions will be group questions. 10 each.
Yeah, 30 questions or even 40 questions could be group questions. It depends on which question paper you face.
Okay, so 3 paragraphs will be there.
3 descriptions, yes. Descriptions, code snippet will be given. For logic coverage criteria, the predicate with the truth table will be given. You know, for mutation testing or symbolic execution, again, the code fragment will be given. And based on that, you answer the questions. And for the smaller questions, individual questions, focus on week 1, week 12, and the smaller things like that we did in between, no? Smaller questions on object-oriented applications, properties, then input space partitioning. Small questions will be from those kinds of stuff. So I've literally told you a lot of the question paper. So you all should do well. Yeah.
Weekly assignment से question आते हैं exam में?
Yeah. The bade questions, they won't repeat. But smaller questions, a few will repeat. It's again as per the mandate of NPTEL courses. I'm sorry, I don't understand this language. If you can speak in English or Hindi, I'll try to respond. Yeah, sorry. Somebody wanted a question of week 6, last 2 questions. Let me just open that. Short notes, Santosh, is very difficult for me to write short notes. I haven't prepared for it, but I have told you the important topics. And if you have specific notes, please do email me and I will be able to answer your questions over email, even after this session. I will type in my email. Otherwise, just Google for my name. You should get my email easily. So any specific topics, right? You should be able to email me for doubts, and I will. Yeah, I might take a day time, or 1 day's time, or 2 days time, and I will reply back. So let me just go and respond to this.
One of the question was there in assignment that how many test cases are required for RACC coverage.
हाँ.
तो उसको कैसे solve करना चाहिए?
You write out. I told you, no. The first thing that you should do for logic coverage criteria is to take the truth table, take the clauses, write out the conditions under which clause determines the predicate, write out GACC, RACC, and CACC criteria. Do that first. After that, you try to look at the questions and then answer it, because otherwise it is going to be difficult.
The number of pairs in number of test cases रहेंगे.
It could be number, number of pairs is the number of test cases. That's right. Yeah, if that was your doubt. So let me just fetch assignment 6. Somebody had a doubt.
RACC इनके solved questions please आप दे दीजिए थोड़े slide Google Drive में.
No, I will put the student exercise manual. It will have at least 4 or 5 questions that are solved with answer keys, some practice questions that are not solved for you to do it. So both will be there for you to be able to manage. So let me just pull out this time's week 6 assignment. Just give me a minute.
No, madam.
Others, please type your questions in the chat box.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, madam. This is Abdul Rahman. Actually, I have one question. Like, I have enrolled this exam, but I have not filled the exam fees. So, is it possible that I can fill now exam fees and then I can give exam?
This you should ask the NPTEL administration. You could send an email to Padma Priya or Lakshmi Priya.
Can you send me email ID in group so that I can copy that one?
Yeah. So for queries like this, please contact Lakshmi Priya from NPTEL.
One of the question was there in assignment that we have to count explicitly how many test cases will be required for the clause coverage.
Okay.
That is easy to do now. One for clause being true and one for clause being false. Yes, Bhavani, I repeat, I said that. No, the exam questions will be very similar to the assignment questions. Things related to payment of exam fees, exam centers, it will be MCQ pattern. Please contact Lakshmi Priya. Her email is put there.
अगर हम प्रेडिकेट के सारे क्लॉजेस को एक टेस्ट केस में ट्रू कर दें एंड प्रेडिकेट के सारे क्लॉजेस को दूसरे टेस्ट केस में फॉल्स कर दें तो 2 टेस्ट केसेस में कवर हो जाएगा, बट उसमें आंसर 4 दिया है एक्सप्लिसिटली में.
No. Per clause you have to do true, false, true, false, true, false. That's how you do.
अगर हम पर क्लॉज में सारे क्लॉजेस को ट्रू कर दे एक बार में और सेकंड टेस्ट केस में सारे क्लॉजेस को फॉल्स कर दे तो 2 टेस्ट केस में हो जाएगा, लेकिन उसमें आंसर
No, not like that. Okay, yeah. No. So 1 minute, I will just share that you're talking about this time's week 6 assignment. No? Yes, somebody else also had
week 6 question 6.
Some also. Give me a minute, I'll share my screen. Yeah, can you see this PDF file? This is 6. Right? Yeah. So
question 6 and 7.
Yeah. So I'm just showing this for everybody. So this was a logical. It was less than y followed by another after. Hello, can you all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 if statements are there. And so the question was, there are about 6 questions in this. So one doubt was how many test cases will be there for clause coverage for the second predicate if we explicitly count the true false values for each clause. So this phrase is very important. If we explicitly count the true false values for each clause. If we didn't have this part, then what you're saying is right. But if you see this second predicate, there are 2 clauses. I am explicitly counting true false values for each clause. So there will be 4 test cases for that. That's the correct answer.
2 to the power number of clauses, अगर explicitly लिखा हो तो question में.
Not 2 to the power number of clauses. That will be for all combination coverage, 2 into the number of clauses. So if there were 3 clauses, first clause true false, second clause true false, third clause true false, 6 test cases.
तो उसमें हमें कुछ भी एक्स वाई देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, डायरेक्टली वी कैन से अगर एक्सप्लिसिटली बोलेगा तो 2 into number of clauses.
हाँ, for this kind of a question, correct. It will be 2 times the number of clauses. If the question is just to count.
Generally it is saying कि कितने हमें चाहिए टेस्ट केसेस टू मेक फॉर क्लॉज कवरेज, तो डिफरेंट मतलब प्रेडिकेट, जैसे एक बार अगर एक क्लॉज कवरेज एक टेस्ट केस में ट्रू हो गया एंड दूसरे में फॉल्स हो गया तो वो भी कंसीडर हो जाएगा.
हाँ, we are not asking for minimum number. I just asked you to hear, you see this phrase, right? Explicitly count. So then it is 2 into the number of clauses. Just give me a minute. I will go back to the chat box and another student had some other question. I'll just open that on the same assignment. Let me in the chat question.
If simply clause coverage is asked, तो हमें बस ऐसे टेस्ट केस निकालने की हर क्लॉज ट्रू और फॉल्स हो जाए डिफरेंट टेस्ट केसेस के अक्रॉस. प्रेडिकेट की वैल्यू कुछ भी हो.
Yeah. So now last 2 questions in the same assignment. Yeah. So last question is, how many test cases are needed for satisfying RACC for all the clauses of the predicate? So this was the last question. So here the question is such that you are just asked for number of test cases, but to answer this question, you have to work out the restricted active clause coverage criteria for that. So take the predicate, take the truth table. There's a lot of work to be done for this. Work it out, then you'll be able to answer this question. So for the second predicate, right, it has 2 clauses. It's like the form A and B. So for this, you have to work out active clause coverage for the first clause, active clause coverage for the second clause, work out RACC criteria, then you will be able to answer this question. That is question 9. Question 10, again, if you work out RACC criteria, then you know which are the truth tables that will, values that will follow this. It happens that this set of truth cases. So if you see here, answer is option 3, right, for the previous question. So 3 test cases are needed. That's option 3. So here I have given the 3 test cases that will correctly satisfy. But you will not be able to answer this question if you don't work out RACC criteria. Is that clear? So it's important to work out RACC criteria. So I'll stop sharing and move on to other questions in the interest of time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, requesting participants who are unmuted to please mute and type your questions in the chat box, because there are a lot of you. It will help everybody to be in the same boat. If you can hold on, I will be able to answer others' questions also, so that
week 6 में
yeah, Mohit, I want you to hold on for a minute, please, so that I can answer others' questions. Please wait, Mohit. Yeah. Yeah. Who else? Yeah, Aditya, please tell.
मैम किस वीक का वेटेज सबसे ज्यादा है?
No, there's nothing like week's weightage. So there are important questions. There will be one set of questions on graph-based coverage. I'm repeating this for the sake of those who joined late. There'll be one set of questions on logic-based coverage, a description given, predicate, truth table. You have to work out clause determining a predicate for all the clauses, work out GACC, CACC, RACC. Then you'll get the coverage criteria-based questions. Similarly, for graph-based coverage, it will be a combination of structural and data flow coverage criteria. And there'll be one set question on mutation, maybe one set on symbolic execution. There are 3 exams, so 3 question papers. They will be slightly different, but they will have a small overlap. So, but these are the most important concepts. And for the single standalone MCQ questions, refer to week 1, which had elementary concepts, week 12, which was again an overview of several different concepts. We didn't deep dive into anything specifically for week 12. So this is a repeat of this thing. There are no numerical questions. Everything is multiple choice. Remember that.
Okay.
No negative marking. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Assignment question. If you have full marks in 8 weeks assignment out of the 12 weeks, then that itself gives you 25 marks. 40 marks is for passing. And the final exam question will be similar to the assignment question. Yeah, somebody had a doubt?
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that can you please suggest a book to practice symbolic execution, because the book Paul Aman does not mention this chapter.
It doesn't. Yeah. For symbolic execution, it's the latest topic, so that book will not have. I will maybe upload some other slides or papers that talk about symbolic execution. We have not, see, it's a mature testing practice. We have not reached a stage where there are practice questions and exercise questions available. So, but it will be very simple. So I will upload some more PPTs and maybe the original papers of symbolic execution. Then you can answer that. So somebody wanted Lakshmi Priya NPTEL manager's address for queries related to exams, payment of fees, centers. Please contact them. Yeah, thanks, Ravi. Ravi has posted the drive containing the slides. It's slightly incomplete now. It's open for downloading for all. So you should be able to get it. And Roshan, there are no numerical questions. And week 12, question 7. I will clear that out. Let me open
week
that.
6 में जो Z दिया था उसको मैं x y greater than x से substitute कर देना चाहिए, मतलब ऐसे questions में.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's right, Mohit. Yeah.
Before solving any RSCC, GSCC question, we have to
right. First, rewrite everything in terms of inputs. That's right. No multiple choice questions, Sridhar. So as I told you, Aryan, study these important topics, revise the assignments, graph-based testing, logic-based testing. I'll put the student manual, student exercise manual there. You should be able to see that. So let me just open week 12. There was a doubt in that. Week 12 assignment. Yeah, that was a confusing question. Spike testing versus stress testing. Represents testing done to check the upper limit capacity of the input that a particular system can handle. Yeah, so it could be both spike and test. So maybe I can give 1 mark for that question or get it removed from the back end for week 12. So that part was a bit confusing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, assignment questions are not enough for passing the exam, Bhavani. I'm repeating that, right? It is not enough. You have to prepare. It constitutes only 25 marks out of 100 marks. That is 25 if you get all your assignment questions right. If you have out of 8 weeks, 12, 8 weeks, out of 12 weeks, 8 weeks assignments fully right, then you get 25. The pass mark is 40.
Individually 40 चाहिए ना?
Yeah, 40 and 75% of the final exam is counted towards that 40. Right? There are no numerical questions. Everything is MCQ. Nobody.
A humble request that I was seeing the chat and most of the students are right now joining. So can you just elaborate once again that what are those important weeks which have those maximum significance?
Yeah, so graph-based testing, logic-based testing, symbolic execution, mutation testing. These are important. Slides are here. Not all slides. Some slides are here. I'll put some more. I will also upload the students' exercise manual of the textbook in this and some slides on the topics that are not there in the book, like symbolic execution. I'll do that.
Symbolic testing के अंदर क्या-क्या type के questions करने चाहिए?
Same thing, right path constraints for specific targets, right test cases for specific targets. It's like that.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I had asked a question regarding the path constraint thing. Could you please explain it, like you explained the side trips with the help of slide or any example?
Yeah. 1 minute. Let me just, did you post the question in the chat box? Sorry, I missed it.
Ma'am, can you
Mutation testing,
upload
please give an
important
idea for mutation
questions
testing.
on Google Drive?
No, I've told you all the important questions. So which is the question that you asked regarding path constraints? I'm not seeing it in the chat box.
What question should we practice for mutation testing?
Same, you will be given a code snippet and you will be asked along with a mutant, and you will be asked to write test cases that kill the mutant and work around similar stuff.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, for mutation testing, there's a line which says that inputs always have to adhere to the underlying syntax. Can you please discuss on this?
Yeah, so mutation testing makes can be applied on two kinds of software artifacts as per what we learned in the course. One is you can apply mutation testing on code, source code. You're given a program, you can modify one line in the program, or you can modify a call interface. So suppose you modify the program, then the resulting piece is another program which we call a mutant. This mutant should be syntactically valid, because otherwise it will result in a program that doesn't even compile, right? So this is what we mean by syntactically valid, in the sense you can't make change that results in a mutant that can't even compile, because we need a change as a mutant for a program for which we will be able to execute the test cases and observe the differences. The other kind of mutation is done on inputs to a code. So let's say a piece of code has needs inputs, and those kinds of mutants where I mutate inputs to a program, they can be both valid and invalid. Valid inputs, if I mutate, then you're testing how the program will behave to slightly different inputs. If I mutate and get an invalid input, then you're testing how a program will behave with reference to that invalid kind of input. Like, for example, suppose date is an input to a piece of program, and the date is expected in a format which says MMDDYYYY, month followed by date of the month followed by year as a 4-digit number. But suppose I give something like DDYYYY, just remove the month, right? The program should have some exception handling to be able to handle this invalid input. So this is an example of an invalid input mutation. But suppose I mutate this input where I retain the format. So 2 digits for month, 2 digits for date, 2 digits for year. But I give an invalid date in the sense that I could give something like 31st November 2003. November has only 30 days. So this is an example of a valid mutation because it follows the syntax of the input. It's syntactically valid, but semantically, meaning-wise, it represents an input date that doesn't make sense. An invalid input format is something that is syntactically invalid. So input mutations can be both syntactically valid and invalid, whereas program mutations have to only be syntactically valid. Otherwise, I won't be able to compile the program and execute the test case. So I hope this answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
In graph based side trip and detour के अलावा और क्या numericals होते हैं?
Graph questions, there is definitions, data definition, data uses, DU paths. Okay, I will do that. Weekly assignment questions for this week, I will upload it. When is your last week's assignment due date? Is that over?
Yes, ma'am. Yesterday it was.
Okay. So maybe even otherwise, I should be able to upload the others. No, I will do that. I will upload for this edition of the course the answer keys to the weekly assignments. Slides are here. Maybe I'll create another subfolder in this and upload this thing. So Karthik, I don't understand what you mean by video solution. The course is already full of videos. How much more videos do we need for this?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Are you providing the practice notes?
That's what I will provide a student exercise manual of that textbook, which will be there for most of the week, that you can use it for practice. Yeah, Muhammad had a question. Yeah, in the final exam, plus best 8 out of that, you should get totally 40. The weightage is best 8 assignments get 25 marks, final exam gets 75 marks. Added together, 100 marks, out of which you should get 40 marks for passing the test exam. But try more than passing. Honestly, I want everybody who's joined this live session, you are interested in learning, you've joined this live session because you had doubts. So you should not just strive for passing the exam. You should get much more than that.
I think you are saying slightly wrong. Why? Because I think we have to get 40% in each, both assignment as well as in final exam. Not together we got 40%. We got individually 40-40.
Maybe that's there. Yeah. So Aman, I cannot share final exam question papers of previous years. That is an NPTEL guideline. But weekly assignments, I will upload some of them.
Side trip, detour, due paths, these 3 topics. And इसके अलावा क्या topics होते हैं मैम graph based testing में?
That's all. Structural coverage criteria, which will have node coverage, edge pair, prime path. Then data flow coverage criteria, which will have DU paths, DU pairs related to that. Yeah. So Aryan, can you explain what you mean by yeah, please do that. What is your name? Your number is visible, the student manual. That will be thankful if you can share that. Okay, Sai Kiran, yeah, please post. Those who wrote to me, I've shared the student manual. Sai Kiran is one of them, so he'll be posting it. I will also put a link to that in the web page. So do learn. JUnit, we don't use it too much in the course, but if you want to learn, it's very easy because it's an open source tool. Pick it up from junit5.org and try it out with a few IDs. Sorry, somebody is talking. Can you please unmute? Kavi Arasan, please unmute. Please mute.
Ma'am, would you please explain me the symbolic testing example?
Yeah, let's just, actually we are running out of time. So maybe we'll take 5 more minutes. I will wind up after that. Give me 2 minutes. I'll open the slides for symbolic testing.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
मैम सिंबॉलिक टेस्टिंग में पाथ कंस्ट्रेंट्स के अलावा और क्या क्वेश्चंस होते हैं?
Test cases that achieve the path constraints. See, the simplest way to remember symbolic execution is
remember. Can you please tell me how to find CACC and GACC pairs, ma'am? The difference. What is the difference between them? Finding the pairs for clauses.
Yeah, 1 minute. I will have to open the slides for that. Let me just finish the symbolic execution. Then I will do that. And maybe after that, we'll wind up. And while you're preparing, if you have doubts, do email me, I will maybe take 1 day's time, but I will answer. So don't hesitate to email me. I'm happy to answer your questions. So can you see the slides on symbolic execution?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. So this is a simple example. So in general, focus on something like this from slide 4 to slide 10. You will get a code snippet like this. There will be some code, just a part of a code that will be given to you with some local variables and statements like if, nested ifs, maybe just one if statement and things like that. Yeah, please mute. Whoever is talking, please mute. Yeah. So the idea is, so if you see this, there are 2 inputs to this code. There is input X, input Y. And there is an internal variable or a local variable Z. If you see this predicate, this involves this local variable Z. We don't want this local variable Z. You have to rewrite it purely in terms of inputs. That's the first thing you have to remember in symbolic execution. So how do you rewrite this? Z is twice of Y. And so I rewrite Z by calling this function, passing an argument. So this X naught, where X naught is the symbolic, 2 Y naught, because I pass Y. 2 Y naught equal to X naught will be the first predicate. pass, fail. So one is 2y not equal to x naught. The next is equal to x naught. That's what is given in this slide. So assign symbolic variables to each of the inputs. X is x naught, y is y naught. Then go to the first if statement, there is an internal variable, rewrite it in terms of inputs. So z naught becomes 2y naught, z becomes 2y naught. Then for each decision statement that you get, like this one and this one, you will get two path constraints. One for the path constraint testing true, another one for the path constraint testing false. So for the path that first decision statement, I'll get x naught equal to 2y naught if part testing true. Second one, I get x naught not equal to 2y naught if part testing false. So if this if part 7, where there is a second if statement. So I add the second path constraint to the first path constraint for the part that tests true. So I add this x naught greater than y naught plus 10 to x naught equal to 2y naught, which was at line 6. And similarly, the second path constraint testing false, x naught is less than or equal to 2. So here, if you see this greater than, opposite of greater than, negation of greater than is less than or equal to. So that's the second part. So totally for this part, which has this code snippet, which has two nested ifs, there are 3 path constraints. First one testing false, first one testing true. If the first one tests true, I go inside that if. Second if can test true or false. So those 3 path constraints are here. And if I solve those 3 path constraints, I'll get 3 test cases that will take the program through 3 different execution paths. Here there are small code, so you can manually solve them and get these 3 test cases. So this is, in a sense, a quick summary of symbolic execution. Like this only questions will come. You'll get a small code fragment with some if statements. You'll be asked to generate path constraints and you'll have to solve this. I hope this is clear.
Could you explain how
there can be multiple solutions?
Ma'am,
there can be multiple solutions. So that
assignment,
MCQ questions will be designed such that you have to choose one correct answer. There are no numerical answers, so don't worry.
Ma'am, can you please open week assignment 5, question number 10?
Yeah.
Ma'am, what is sigma? What is sigma?
Minute, I will go in order.
Ma'am, what is sigma?
Ma'am, week assignment
Sigma
5.
is the symbolic state, the part that we talk about in symbolic execution. I assign x as x naught, y as y naught, and that assignment I call it as sigma.
Ma'am, can you please open assignment week 5?
1 minute, I am going in order. So you just have to give me a minute. You just have to give me a minute. I will first finish the active clause coverage. Some other learner had a doubt about that. I will finish that, then we will take it in order.
Ma'am, what else is possible in symbolic?
That's it, Mohit. Don't worry too much. Yeah, so who had this question on logic coverage criteria? Can you see my slides? What is it that you wanted an explanation of?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, question number 10, week assignment 5.
Oh, I opened the slides. 1 minute.
Ma'am, please tell what kind of
5,
question
no?
can be asked in mutation testing also.
Yeah, I'll just finish this assignment 5. Yeah, sorry, which was the question?
Question number 10.
What?
Ma'am, CSEs.
Yeah, I explained this just now. Okay. Yeah. So for this, in general, questions like these will need a lot of work. So you will be given this truth table, right? You'll be also given a paper, a rough sheets to do. So take this, work out first workout conditions, and it will be built like that, step by step. First workout conditions under which clauses determine predicate PA, PB, PC. Don't worry about seeing these options. Just work it out in your notebook. Then you will be able to choose the options, right? Which one is right? After, for this PA, PB, PC, from this truth table, write out conditions for active clause coverage criteria: general, active, correlated, active, restricted, active. You see the questions. If there are conditions on GACC, RACC, work out those. If there are questions on GICC or RICC, work out those. After that, you write it down in your paper. How many rows, how many this thing per clause. After that, come back. Then you will be able to know whether this is true or false. Otherwise, you cannot answer this till you work out what the CACC pairs are and GACC pairs are. This will need you to write down in your notebook and work it out first.
मैम प्रीवियस ईयर का क्वेश्चन पेपर प्रोवाइड करवा दीजिए.
Previous year's final exam question paper I cannot share. It is against the guidelines of NPTEL. I will share weekly assignments of previous years. And for mutation testing,
please tell type of questions in mutation testing.
Yeah, so mutation testing, you'll be given a code snippet, and you will be asked to, and a mutant for one of the statement, you will be asked to work out reachability conditions, infection conditions, propagation conditions, and for test cases for killing the mutants, strongly killing the mutants and weakly killing the mutants. So I will share weekly assignment. Summary of week 12. Aryan, if you want a written summary, the best reference would be slides. As of now, they are not there in the week 12 is mainly overviews and all that. I will upload week 12 slides also in the Google Drive. Yeah, Mohit should get full marks now.
मैम म्यूटेशन टेस्टिंग में आपने जो टॉपिक्स बताए उनका एक बार ब्रीफ कर दीजिए ना प्लीज. टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस
अभी बोला था ना मैंने.
नहीं, उनको कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं, उनका मेथड्स प्लीज ब्रीफ कर दीजिए ना.
No, we are running very late, Mohit. It will become very late. Weekly assignment questions will be similar, but not the same. Yeah, spike and stress testing. Spike is a sudden increase in load. If you find words like sudden and all that, sudden increase in load, and then see what happens. Stress is testing for highest load. A classical example is you take IRCTC, sudden increase in load comes when Tatkal booking is there, right? Like for example, now Diwali vacations, Tatkal booking, and there's a sudden increase, then will the system cater to it? It's spike testing. Stress testing is at any point in time, can 100,000 users simultaneously log in, and will the system be fine? That is stress testing. Yeah, for that question, it is wrong. So I will get it corrected and back it. Previous years, some assignment questions, I will put a subfolder in that same Google Drive and put that here. Yeah, so just absolute last 5 minutes. Let me try to do one part on mutation, and then we should really wind up after that because we are running out of time. NPTEL host also needs to go back.
Ma'am, can you provide notes of this course?
Notes are very difficult. I tried writing because I think somebody asked last time. I'm not sure if it's the same person. So instead, what I've done is this thing is there. The book itself, version 1, is available for free download in the course page, the George Aman book. I will upload the URL there in the drive so that you can download, and except for chapters like symbolic testing, week 12 and all that, the rest of it, the book itself will act as course notes for you. Yeah, so let me just share my screen. Give me a minute. I have that same example for mutation testing that is there in the. Yeah, thanks, Sai. He's uploaded the student manual. Yeah, if you all want, we can do one more session before the exam. Which are the dates of your exam now? Yeah, I hope you can see my screen, mutation testing. So this was an example that was there in the recorded video, right? So like this, you'll be given a code, just a code snippet. And you know how to read this code? There are two programs here. The ground string is lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the ground string, original program. The mutant is take out line 4, replace it with delta 4. So the mutant is the same code 1, 2, 3, delta 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you'll be asked questions like, if you look at this program, study this code, what does the original program do? This program is trying to compute whether a number is even or not by dividing it by 2 and checking. So the way it handles is, it in line number 4, if it is a negative number, -3, -6, then it will do 0 minus x. It will make it positive. And then it will divide it by 2. And if it is able to successfully divide by 2, then it will say, yes, true, it's an even number. This checks if it's even. Otherwise, it will say, no, it's not an even number. What does the mutant do? Mutant is replacing line 4 with line delta 4. What is the difference between 4 and delta 4? 4 was trying to make negative numbers positive. Delta 4 will make all negative numbers 0. So now what will line number 5 do? So suppose you had given a test case which was -3. X was -3. What would have original program done? It would have made x as 3 and then said that return false. Suppose you had given the test case as -6, x as -6. What would the original program done? It would have made 6 at line 4 and it would have divided by 2 and returned true. What will the mutant do for something like -6? It will make -6 0 because delta 4 just sets x to 0. And both 0 and 6 are divisible by 2, right? So here this part will be okay. Both are divisible by 2, but the original program and the mutant will return the same answer. Whereas you want a test case that will strongly kill the mutant, which means original program should return a different answer from the mutant when run on the same test case. So to get a test case that strongly kills this mutant, if I give a negative number, then line 4 will make it a positive number and line delta 4 will make it 0. And because of that difference, line 5 will make for odd numbers return false and for even negative numbers will return true. So to be able to strongly kill this mutant, you need to give an odd negative integer. That's what this slide explains.
Different output will be there. That is strongly killing mutant.
Exactly. Weakly killing is only at line 5, if I observe the difference, then it's weakly killing. So questions will be like this. You will be asked to find out what the program does, what the mutant does, how to strongly kill, how to weakly kill, things like this. That's about it.
Strongly kill means changing the output, and weakly kill means?
At the line of the statement where all of this was there.
So ma'am, what will weakly kill do at that line? Means what will be the difference between strongly kill means different output is there, and what is there in weakly killing?
At the line of the mutant, the value of the variable that you're changing will be different. Is it okay?
So yeah. X will be different at that line. That is weakly killing.
Yeah.
Some difference is there, but output is same.
Yeah. Bhavani, I haven't yet uploaded the assignments, so I will do that. The student manual, practice problems, the drive containing the assignments are all there. So if you all prefer another session, if your exams 30th, 31st, 1st, maybe soon after Diwali, we could have a live session. I will request the NPTEL admin. If they permit, we can have one on 27th or 28th of this month. So I'll stop here now because we are really running out of time. The administration who's hosting the meeting has to go.
Ma'am, what else in mutation testing?
That's it. Don't worry. Mohit is going to be the topper. Who's that?
Best of luck, Mohit.
So I'll stop here. And if we are able to host another live session, we'll host it. Otherwise, please email me. No hesitation. Email me. Share the drive once again. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Please upload student manual.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Hello,
I'll do that.
Hello.
I'll upload student manual. Yeah.
Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. All the best. Best to all of you. Happy Diwali. Yeah, please tell me. Yeah.
Ma'am, any reference for practicing question?
I told you, student manual is there. I'll upload that. In the same drive, I'll upload it later tonight.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best. Yeah. See you.
Thank you, ma'am.
वीकली किलिंग वर्सेस नॉट ऐसा म्यूटेंट जो वीक और स्ट्रॉन्ग दोनों नहीं है, उसमें क्या फर्क होगा?
चिल मोहित, चिल,
शांति रख ले मैम। वीकली किलिंग एंड ऐसा म्यूटेंट जो वीकली भी नहीं हो स्ट्रॉन्गली भी नहीं हो, मतलब जिसका कोई इफेक्ट नहीं हो, उन दोनों में क्या फर्क होगा?
कितना क्वेश्चन पूछोगे भाई, मैम को भी रेस्ट दो।
Yeah, sorry, Mohit, I have to answer. I mean, I have to leave now. Otherwise, the NPTEL admin will be very upset with me. So I'm ending the meeting for everybody. All the best. Write to me if you have doubts. We'll try to host another live session. All the best.